A pleasant morning to each and every one of us. We are about to discuss about a disputed territory claimed by different countries including the Philippines, the Scarborough Shoal. So first, we have guide questions here prepared. Number 1. Why do the Philippines and the People's Republic of China and all the other countries proposes its claims over the Scarborough Shoal? Because the tension between China and the Philippines in the South China Sea over the disputed Scarborough Shoal has been brewing for several decades after the discovery of oil and gas region in 1968. Number 2. What are the details that support China's claim over the Scarborough Shoal? How about the Philippines? So on China's claim, they are saying that 2/3 of the total area of the South China Sea has been regarded as part of the Zhongsha Islands in China since 1935. In 1947, the shoal was given the name Minzujiao, literally Democracy Reef. China has been constantly emphasizing asserting this fact when Scarborough Shoal became subject of dispute among the claiming parties. Hence, China claims Scarborough Shoal and most islands in South China Sea based on historical ownership. China reaffirmed its claim of sovereignty over the Zhongsha Islands in its 1992 law on the territorial sea and the contiguous zone. China claims all the islands, reefs, and shoals within a U-shaped line in the South China Sea, drawn in 1947 as its territory. Scarborough Shoal lies within this area. On Philippines' claim, Scarborough Shoal, as called Bajo de Masinloc in the Philippines, is located 124 nautical miles west of Zambales, and the government of the Philippines claimed it as part of the municipality of Masinloc, Zambales Province. Furthermore, the Philippines claims Scarborough Shoal based on Philippine sovereignty under public international law and on Philippine sovereign rights under United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea or UNCLOS. The Philippine government has proposed taking the dispute to the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea as provided in Part 15 of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. But the Chinese government has rejected this, insisting on bilateral discussions. Several official Philippine maps published by Spain and US in 18th and 20th centuries show Scarborough Shoal as Philippine territory. The 18th century map, Carta Hydrográfica y Corográfica de las Islas Filipinas in 1734, shows the Scarborough Shoal then was named as Panakot Shoal. The map also shows the shape of the shoal as consistent with the current maps available as today. During the 1900s, Mapa General, Islas Filipinas, Observatorio de Manila, and U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey map include the Scarborough Shoal, named as Bajo de Masinloc. In 1792, another map drawn by the Malaspina expedition and published in 1808 in Madrid, Spain, also showed Bajo de Masinloc as part of the Philippine territory. Next, what is the effect between the clashes of the two countries?
There were more than 380 violent clashes between vessels from different countries involving 70 Chinese fishing boats between 1989 and 2010. According to China's Ministry of Agriculture, on the verge of the ongoing territorial conflict, where China and the Philippines are staunch in claiming the piece of rock. Now, what is at stake? There may be only three issues underlying the standoff. Firstly, the China's interest. Secondly, the America's interest. And thirdly, the Philippine sovereignty. The standoff had threatened to spill over to trade and tourism when China tightened the regulation on banana imports from the Philippines, and several Chinese tour groups canceled visits to the Philippines.
Who do you think has the right to claim the shoal?
The Philippines claim that its sovereignty claim for the shoal is based on the juridical criteria established by public international law and the lawful methods for acquisition of sovereignty. Natural Resources has conducted scientific, topographic, and marine studies in the shoal, while Filipino fishermen regularly use it as fishing ground and have always considered it their own. It is near in the Philippines and near in the province of Zambales.
Good morning. I'm going to discuss about Philippine map versus China map. So, sa old map, nakasaad doon na ang Philippines daw is sakop talaga natin ng Scarborough Shore. Kaya lang, yun na yung ginawa ng foreign missionary na nag-explore dito sa atin. Kaya lang, nagpadala yung Chinese embassy na nandito sa Makati na si Luyang, na sinasabi niya na kanila daw talaga yung map ng, meron daw silang patunay na sa kanila yung map ng Scarborough Shore noon pang yung Yuan Dynasty, noong 1271 to 1368. Old map which government official believe may hold the key up to the Philippines, claimed to Scarborough Shoal in the West Philippine Sea, were created by foreign missionaries and colonial explorers, making them a personal and unofficial. According to the report posted on the website of the Chinese Embassy in the Philippines, the map do not in any way represent in view of the government, said the same report. In the site of Philippines Foreign Ministry website article date April 28, which said that the map drawn by the missionary and published in 1734 was the one of the first map that indicated that Yungang Island is part of the Philippines. So yun pa, isa pang pinag-aagawan is yung One Island. Kasi sinasabing part din siya ng Philippines kasi parang medyo magkatabi sila ng Scarborough Shore. Pero ngayon, nasa China na talaga yun. It is clear that Scarborough Shoal is a part of cartography during Spanish colonial times. We have the maps produced from the original made in 1734 during the time Scarborough was already part of the Philippines. So si Angara kasi, parang nagko-collect siya dati ng mga maps. So meron tayong patunay na noong 1734 na nakalinya sa atin na yung Scarborough Shore is sa atin talaga. Pero nag-release din yung China ng kanilang mismong map noong 1935. Yung government nila, official release yon na kanila talaga yon yung Scarborough Shore. Tapos noong 1947, nag-release ulit sila ng bago. Tapos yung kaninang pinag-aagawan din na isama at saka yung Scarborough Shore is kanila din daw. Because of mayaman sa minerals. Actually, pinangalanan nila to ng nung hindi pa siya napopromote na talagang sa kanila, pinangalan nila to ng Democratic Reef. Thank you. Baho.
Masinloc or Scarborough Shoal is not an island. Bajo de Masinloc is not also a part of the Spratlys. Bajo de Masinloc, Scarborough Shoal is a ring-shaped coral reef which has several rocks encircling a lagoon. About 5 of these rocks area above water during high tide. Of these 5 rocks, some are about 3 meters high above the water. The rest of the rocks and reefs are below water during high tide. The name of the Bajo de Masinloc was given to the shoal by Spanish colonizers. In 1792, another map drawn by the Alejandro Malaspina expedition and published in 1808 in Madrid, Spain. The name Bajo de Masinloc is translated under Masinloc itself identifies the shoal as a particular political subdivision of the Philippine province of Zambales known as Masinloc.
Last June 16, Department of Foreign Affairs issued a statement by Foreign Affairs Secretary Albert Del Rosario announcing that President Aquino ordered both our ships, Philippine Coast Guard and Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, to return to port due to increasing bad weather. When weather improves, a re-evaluation will be made. China, which had announced a fishing ban mid-May, having anticipated the big waves and the rains that come with the southwest monsoon at this time of the year, issued a statement welcoming the Manila's announced pullout. We have noticed the withdrawal of government vessels by Philippine side. We hope this action will help ease the tension, said Zhang Hua, spokesperson of the Chinese Embassy in Philippines. 2 days later, China announced that they were sending 2 ships to assist the more than 20 fishing boats in the disputed area that would be withdrawing because of bad weather. A glitch occurred in the otherwise positive turn of events when DFA's spokesperson Raul Hernandez said that Chinese announcement of a pullout was consistent with our agreement with the Chinese government on withdrawal of all vessels from the shoals lagoon to defuse the tensions in the area. Chinese leadership, who had to deal with the hardline elements of their military, didn't appreciate DFA's statement, which could give the impression that they were compromising their territorial claim. Hong Mei, spokesperson of Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, expressed ignorance of the agreement, Hernandez mentioned. The 2-month standoff started last April 10 when Philippine Navy's DRP Gregorio del Pilar, the country's lone modern naval patrol frigate acquired from the U.S. last year, chanced upon 8 Chinese fishing vessels in the Scarborough Shoal while on its way to northern Luzon as part of the contingency measures for North Korea rocket launch. Tour cancellation were caused by tour groups getting nervous seeing demonstrators in front of Chinese embassies in Manila and the United States, denouncing China's bullying of the Philippines. The rallies have stopped and Chinese tourists are seen again in Boracay and other resorts in the country. The tension in Scarborough Shoal has in the meantime abated, but there is no assurance that China will return and attempt to fortify its claim just like what it did in mischief reefs in the Spratlys. But the Scarborough Shoal standoff has shown that there is no gain for both countries going to war over those uninhabitable rocks. Even if the overlapping territorial claims in the South China Sea is a core issue for China, it has more important concerns to attend to now than taking on a small country like the Philippines, concerned about its international image. China does not want to be seen as a bully. The Philippines continues to study the options, fully aware that it's an ace or resource more effective kept in reserve rather than used.
The latest tension is at the Scarborough Shoal, a small cluster of uninhabitable islands which lies about 220 kilometers off the coast of the Philippines and falls under its exclusive economic zone according to international maritime law. But China also claims ownership despite its nearest coastline being 900 kilometers away. The Scarborough Shoal has valuable resources including fishing, shipping routes, and potentially enormous oil and gas deposits. After more than 2 decades of double-digit increases in defense spending, China now has the largest fleet of advanced warships, submarines, and long-strike aircraft in Asia. The Philippines is working hard to get support from allies such as Japan and the US to help it build up its military capabilities. But months of simmering tension between both sides over the disputed territory is threatening to exact heavy toll on the Philippines economy, and is damaging vital tourism and agricultural sectors.
On my analysis, kaya naman talaga itong lusutan ng Pilipinas, yung gusot na to. Kaya lang, yun nga, nasabi dito, yung pambubuli ng China, hindi naman to yung bully na inaaway talaga. Ito yung bully na kapag nilusutan natin to, ibig sabihin, di ba may utang tayo sa kanilang almost 500 billion? Parang sisingilin ka agad nila tayo na, sige, bibigay namin Scarborough, pero bayadan nyo agad-agad yung utang ninyo.